focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of June 7, Friday. I'm Riza Diaz. We're opening up today's show with a rush of complaints from a dialysis facility in Quezon City, which allegedly made benefit claims for non-existent kidney treatments. But PhilHealth says it had already acted on the matter as early as last year. Jenny Dongon with a story.
PhilHealth admits it has received complaints against a dialysis center in Novaliches, Quezon City, reportedly claiming benefits from deceased patients. But PhilHealth says it already filed cases against the center last year, contrary to claims of Attorney Harry Roque that PhilHealth is ignoring the reports.
The corporation have filed 28 counts of administrative cases. Also, we have filed several counts of offenses against doctors for possible involvement. So this is the truth of it, that we acted upon this case and not sitting on it.
Falsification and misrepresentation were the cases filed against Wellmed Dialysis and Laboratory Center, and at least 4 doctors were implicated in the modus. PhilHealth says that as early as last February, they have suspended payments for all claims made by the dialysis facility. They also plan to withdraw the center's accreditation. Ferrer adds that the alleged inaction is just black propaganda against him, as there are mafias inside PhilHealth challenging his leadership.
It could be against me and the PhilHealth because of my focus now, of the anti-fraud and the mandate that was given to me by the President himself and the Congress. More and more whistleblowers that are coming out to bring out what they are doing in the respective regions. Marami po, mga tiwaling ginagawa.
Finally, Ferrer had this to say to Attorney Harry Roque.
Sa akin naman, kung sinong si Attorney Roque, kung gusto niyo yung upuan ko, well, he has to earn it.
For News 5, Jenny Dongon, PR1 News.
For those looking to migrate to the U.S., you may need to do another set of document filing at the U.S. Embassy. Dale De Vera tells us why.
Starting July, the Office of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services in Manila will be permanently shut down. The U.S. Embassy in Manila cites insufficient workload as the reason for closing the office. This means the processing of Forms I-130 and I-1407 will be transferred to domestic and electronic processing. Form I-130 is used as a petition to immigrate a non-American citizen, while I-407 is for a lawful permanent resident who wishes to abandon his or her legal status in America. These applications, the embassy says, takes at least 65% of workload in the office. Based on the new rules of the USCIS, applications for I-130 should be mailed to the lockbox facility in Chicago, Illinois in America. But the Homeland Security says there will be several incidents that they will allow the State Department through embassies and consular offices to accept petition applications. This includes military and medical emergencies, threats to the petitioner and beneficiary, applicants close to aging out, adoptions, recently naturalized petitioners, and short notice of position relocations. Aside from this, applications for Filipino World War II Veterans Parole Program should also be lodged via lockbox facility. But other applications may still be filed at the U.S. Embassy, such as Form I-360, which is used for widow and widowers of American citizen and for lawful permanent residents of America who needed travel documentation to be able to go back home. An immigration lawyer explains that this is not bad news for Filipinos hoping to migrate to America. It's only that processing time may be now longer.
No, there is a huge difference in terms of processing time. For example, if you were a resident of the Philippines and you wanted to bring your Philippine spouse to the U.S. as an immigrant, and you filed through the USCIS Manila field office, the process would take 2 to 3 months. Now that you have to send the petition to the United States, the current trends are 12 to 18 months.
But with the closure of the USCIS office in Manila, other Pacific Island countries under its jurisdiction are also affected. The USCIS will also be closing down its Juarez, Mexico office by the end of the month. For News 5, Dale De Vera, we are One News.
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Filipino Star ngayon reports that most senators of soon-to-be majority have already sorted out committee chairmanships in the upper house. Here's what they came up so far. Former top cop Bato de la Rosa will most likely head the public order panel, which was last led by former PNP Chief Ping Lacson. Francis Tolentino is poised to get the committee on local government. Meanwhile, not just one, but 3 committees are being offered to former presidential aide Bongo. These are the committees on health, as well as housing and settlement. And sports committee is also being offered to him, and he says he's open to it. Bong Revilla may be given the civil service chairmanship formerly held by Senator Trillanes. Revilla is also seen to head the public information and mass media panel. Amy Marcos will possibly lead a social justice committee, although this is still under incumbent Senator Laila de Lima. Lito Lapid, meanwhile, may soon be leading the committee on games and amusement again. Senator Grace Poe will retain her Public Services Chairmanship and may soon also lead the Banks and Financial Institutions panel, previously held by Chis Escudero. Senator Coco Pimentel will likely handle the Foreign Relations and Trade panel, while Nancy Binay will most likely lead the Tourism and Climate Change committees. Senator Manny Pacquiao will still lead the Committee on Public Works, but he may now also lead Ethics panel. Senator Sonny Angara may possibly take over the Finance Committee from outgoing Senator Loren Legarda. His other incumbent colleagues, meanwhile, will retain their posts. That's Senator Dick Gordon in the Blue Ribbon Committee and Senator Joel Villanueva with the Labor and Employment Panel. The Education Panel, meanwhile, will be split between Villanueva, who will get the basic education, and Senator Win Gatchalian, who would get the higher ed. A sigh of relief for households altogether now. Meralco customers could expect lower bills for the second straight month in June. The power distributor says this is due to the lower generation charge for electricity purchased in May. Households consuming 200 kilowatts per hour in a month can expect nearly 40 pesos reduction in their bills, while those using 300 kilowatts per hour or more may see 58 to 97 peso reduction in their bill for June.
So ngayon, medyo stable ang exchange rate, medyo stable ang fuel prices. Ang nakapagbaba ng presyo ngayon ay ang mga charges sa spot market.
Now, over at the NBA, the Raptors claimed series control after defeating the Warriors 123-109. Golden State was clearly outmatched as 2 of their players, Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, missed Game 3. Banat reports that Steph Curry tried his best to lead the Warriors, but even his 47 points failed to make the cut. The Toronto Raptors cruised to an easy takeover with Kawhi Leonard leading the charge with 30 points. Now, more on the world of sports. It isn't exactly the type of vacation one would hope for in the case of Calvin Abueva, who was suspended indefinitely for bad behavior. But the PBA says you gotta do what you have to do, although it admits that Phoenix forward isn't entirely at fault. Lynn Olivario has the report.
It's not every day a player gets slapped with an indefinite suspension. A hefty price Calvin Abueva has to pay on top of the 70,000 pesos for the much talked about clothesline hit on TNT's Terrence Jones and for engaging in a verbal altercation with a fan and making obscene gestures. PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall explains he just had to put his foot down.
Kaya ginawa natin to para makapag-isip-isip din si Calvin at para maayos natin. Ito sa akin hindi parusa. Ito para makatulong kay Calvin at ikakabuti ni Calvin at ikakabuti sa PBA.
Marshall admitted it pained him to see the beast figure in those incidents.
Nakakasama din ang loob sa akin kasi ilang taon kong kasama si Calvin sa national team. So, dikit na kami ni Calvin tapos magpaparusa ako ng ganon. Kailangan parang anak natin na nagkasala. So, kailangan mo turuan ng anong dapat na tamang gawin o dapat na gagawin mo sa balang araw paglaki mo rin.
The league said they will lift the suspension depending on how and when Abueva makes his apology and how he will reform his ways.
Maayos lang niya lahat. Yung tapos nakikita naman natin na nagbabago siya. May mahabang proseso rin to Pag nakita natin yun, ayos lahat, pag-aralan namin ulit kung pwede na ulit si Calvin. Sayang ang galing ni Calvin, sayang yung galing niya kung maling daan yung ipupuntahan niya.
Marshall also admitted they were at fault for missing the hit that caused Calvin to retaliate in the first place.
Ayun, mali talaga si Dennis. Mali ang referee namin doon. Hindi nakita, inaamin ko na mali kami doon. Kasi kung nakita yon, hindi na thrown out dapat si Jones. Pero pakat siya.
Terrence Jones was then fined 70,000 pesos. 50,000 for hitting Calvin in the groin, 20,000 for physically contacting an official. While the referee who missed the call, Bing Oliva, was suspended for 10 playing game days. For News 5, Lynn Olivario, We Are One News.
After a bridesmaid finish in the UAAP Season 81, the UP Fighting Maroons attracted a new major backer to help them finally secure the men's basketball championship. Carlo Pamintuan has the story.
After a headline-grabbing season, the University of the Philippines men's basketball team is getting a new supporter for the upcoming UAAP competitions. PayMaya Philippines, the country's leading digital payments company, announces that they have the backs of the UP Fighting Maroons for Season 82 of the UAAP. Once considered the doormats of the collegiate leagues, the Fighting Maroons are now a force to be reckoned with after their impressive campaign last season.
This will go a long way, of course, knowing that UP is the only public school among the 8 teams in the UAP. Our intention is to go all the way this season.
They stand for the same ideals that PayMaya stands for. We all know that they win hearts, not necessarily trophies, but if we can have both, then so much the better.
In addition to the support, PayMaya also provides the Fighting Maroons with services in order to kickstart cashless living. This is the latest in PayMaya's venture in sports, having previously backed the PayMaya High Flyers in the Premier Volleyball League and the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. The partnership between the UP Fighting Maroons and PayMaya will be in full show when the 82nd season of the UAAP opens in September.
Blackpink fans, or Blinks, spent thousands of pesos just to beat their idols on Thursday. But while Lisa, Jisoo, Rosie, and Jennie indeed showed up in the event, the event became a mess as fans claimed they were scammed. Fans expected the group to perform at least one song, but the event turned out to be a talk show and lasted only 30 minutes. But that's not the only thing Pinoy Blinks were disappointed about. Jennie even had a panic attack on stage. The whole mess started on Wednesday when the event organizer decided to change the rules of the fan meet and greet. According to the company, the 568 top spenders of their e-commerce site from May 11 to 25 will be granted one ticket each. That's if they receive their orders on or before June 1. But just a day before the event, Shopee decided to change the rules, saying only orders completed on May 25 will be counted. And instead of a ticket, the top spenders only received an error message. With this, some fans speculate that the rules changed to accommodate influencers and celebrities who were invited by the company. And because of this, Pinoy Blinks raged on Twitter with hashtag ShopeeScam. That became the #1 trending hashtag in the Philippines. Meanwhile, hashtag #SorryBlackpink became the second top trend on Twitter nationwide. Shopee has already issued an apology regarding the fiasco. It also claims that it is reaching out to all of those who were affected. One News and its affiliates snagged several recognitions during the Rotary Club of Manila's Centennial Journalism Awards. One News anchor Cito Beltran was named Television Male Broadcaster of the Year, while News 5 Davao reporter Jem Avancenia was also acknowledged as Regional Female Broadcaster of the Year. Now, on the other hand, TV5 CEO Chot Reyes was there to receive the network's Station of the Year award. Our sister publications also got their share of accolades. The Freeman bagged its 4th Regional Newspaper of the Year, and the Philippine Star reporters got recognitions for excellence in business writing, business opinion, and news reporting. And that's how today is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.